Hello and welcome to this presentation of our paper, The Effects of Real-World Capstone Project in an Acquisition of Soft Skills Among Software Engineering Students. This is a joint work of Jayden Khakurel and me, Jari Porras. The motivation for our paper is that there is a growing expectation that IT professionals should also have soft skills in addition to the hard skills. Soft skills are the ones that give the hard skills the required plasticity to the development and keep up to date in changing circumstances. And in order to accomplish this, the upcoming IT professionals should develop their soft skills in a realistic environment already during their studies. The realistic environment, what we are talking here, is the Capstone project. Capstone projects are considered as the crowning achievements of your studies. ACM, IEEE Software Engineering Curricular Guidelines, defines this as the opportunity to undertake a significant software engineering task that deepens the understanding of many of the knowledge areas forming the software engineering education knowledge. So basically, students apply the previously learned skills, deepen their understanding of the acquired knowledge, extend the area of knowledge, and apply their knowledge and skills in a realistic simulation of professional experience in the university environment. In this study, we examine the effect of a capstone course, especially in acquisition of soft skills. And in the end, we try to map the skills found from our capstone course to the findings from software industry. The related work on software skills in software industry, especially literature review that we made, found out that there is quite a big set of soft skills for different roles that you might have in software industry. You might have communication issues, analytical and problem solving skills. You definitely have some team skills, some motivational issues, leadership, customer orientation, cultural fits, and so on. The capstone we are talking here is basically a capstone that we have been developing for the last 3 years. The first time we implemented it this way was 2016, and the results of this paper are basically based on the last implementation in 2019. It aims to follow the ACM guidelines, especially the sentence that states that wherever possible a project should have a customer other than supervisor. So basically in this last implementation of the capstone course, the course instructor, me, negotiated with different representatives from Finnish private and public organizations to act as the customers for the project and at the same time mentors to the students. The learning objectives of this course have been developed during the course of these three different implementations. The first set of learning objectives fulfill the normal capstone requirements. Whereas the last 3 bullets, where we emphasize the customer role, those have been added to the last implementation of this capstone course. Especially we wanted that the teams will focus on the customer requirements, and in the end the customers will be satisfied to the project deliverables and the solutions that the teams are providing to the customers. The data collection within this paper is based on written reports of the students and reflections of the teachers. The reflections in those student reports basically include different elements of project life cycle, and they need to reflect, for example, project management issues, interaction with the customers, different technical development aspects, as well as the learning outcomes of a team, as well as the individuals. We did a thematic analysis to these reports to find out different categories of soft skills that the students did identify within this particular capstone. The reports revealed 15 or the thematic analysis of those reports revealed 15 different soft skill categories. And in this picture, we show those 15 different categories with the frequency, how many students identified that particular category. We had altogether 48 students, and for example, the external communication was identified by 37 students within this course. External communication means communication that the teams or the students have to do towards the teachers and customers, whereas internal communication is something that happens within the team. If we are reflecting these skills, I'm just selecting a couple of those categories that we have in the paper. We have rest of those analyzed. But for example, for the external and internal communication skills, that was actually the emphasis of the 2019 course. It seems that the introduction of the real customers gave the students a lot of experiences for the communication and cooperation with the customers. How to communicate, when to communicate, and how to take their needs into account. And also, partly internally, how they should discuss in order to cope with the requirements of the customers. The other thing that what we want to emphasize here is different kind of skills for organizing the work. It seems that the students did have some problems for timing up things, and it's not easy task for the students when they have the responsibility of arranging all the meetings with the customers, arranging all the work within the team and towards the teachers and the customers. And finally, there was when they are doing this project work together with the customers, and they have a team of 4 to 6 persons, there will always be some conflicts on different things. And quite many students realize that this kind of a conflict management is an important part of the capstone, or important part of this the soft skills that the workers should have. Either it might be conflict management that you are giving up, or the team is negotiating those outcomes. Here we are then mapping the identified skills to the desired soft skills within the software industry. The left side of this table represents the elements that we found out from the literature review, and on the right side we have the number of students that identified that particular category. We have to remember here that students definitely had statements that did not only have, or quotations that did not have only one skill, but could have been put under several skills. As such, the numbers here might be a bit different than we had in that frequency graph. And we also have to understand that students definitely did not pinpoint each and every skill they acquired during the course. They basically reflected to their learnings, and we did not give them the list of skills that they should reflect to. Basically what we did, we mapped what the students said, categorized those, what they meant with their statements, and that way got these figures. Anyway, in any large software project, it's a collaboration of different teams, different customers, changing requirements, and the acquisition of good communication skills is always important for the students to fulfill the requirements. And we believe that soft skill set the students gain through this course will definitely be useful to handle these different complicated situations for the collaboration issues, and to facilitate open discussion and collaboration, teamwork, and so on within the team when they are in the real world working places. If taking a couple of teacher reflections towards the learnings of this capstone and the aim, the learning objectives what we had for the students, we require the students to sign a team contract. That was to avoid free riding within these larger groups. The groups were 4 to 6 students altogether. Although there was plenty of work to do for everybody, there still was some failures even with this team contract. Team contract was supposed to tell us that the team members have similar motivation and similar kind of goals for the course. There was some failures with one large and one very distributed team, and we need to tackle that in the next implementations. There was also a contract with the customer, kind of a contract with the customer to guarantee that the team is doing effort for this real world case. The customers were overly satisfied for this whole thing, but there was some problems that the academic schedules and the business schedules do not necessarily meet all the time. One of the teams had to postpone the start of their project because the business didn't have time to have the negotiations with this team. This is definitely failure in customer negotiations of the course instructor and has nothing to do with the students. But what the students learned is that basically these things happen. Not everything is based on the workers, but there might also be the customer is not able to deal with the schedules what the team has. The good point of this whole course is that the project had life after the course. There was one startup of one project, and then one company wanted to take the product that the students were providing to them into production, and that's definitely a success of a course. There are a couple of benefits for this course and the soft skills. I would say that the teams were better engaged because of the external real-world customer, and because we had real-world customer for the teams, the requirement management became much more difficult. The good point also was that within this capstone we actually divided the theoretical aspects and the implementation aspects to different courses in a problem-based learning type of an approach way. There is definitely some potential improvements within our course still. The communication was not always timely, and we need some tools to support the project management, especially similar tools for the project management for all teams. Now the teams were using tools of their selection. And definitely this unequal load of team members was one of the problems that we need to look at in the next iterations of this course.